When you were young, did you ever used to be a kid? I was. And once upon a time, I imagined what it would be like to visit a faraway magic kingdom. But I never imagined what it'd take to get there.
We're going to the amusement park a little early.
Are we there yet?
We're not in the car yet, Rollo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
Yes.
Really?
No!
Are we there yet?
Shut up.
And it's time for another unbuckled bumpy ride with your guide, the stark raving LEAN-atic himself. I'm Jim. Let's jump right in again. Welcome to my podcast based on my brand new book, available on Amazon, Live Life Lean, L-E-A-N. It's a year-long guide to gratitude and our daily grind. The book that combines some timeless wisdom from a whole lot of the world's wiser people with the reflections, reactions, and wisecracks of the guide's author, me. And it guides you, the reader, through the simplest system for a happy, healthy, authentic, and genuinely grateful everyday experience. I urge you to get the book. Of course I do. I wrote it. It's either at Amazon or at my website, ampurage.com. A-M-M-P-U-R-A-G-E. But even without it, let's make next week better than last, our next year better than the past, and get started now with today's episode of Adults are only kids who've grown up anyways. I was a kid once. Too big for a car seat. Hell, who even used car seats in 1970? But still small enough to have to strain to see out the windows from the back seat of my folks' car. God, how I wish I remembered what that thing looked like, what type of car it was. This memory, anyways, is from the inside looking out. So, Disneyland. My first trip. I'd heard about Disneyland. I'd seen pictures, been shown them. Probably even seen ads on TV or heard radio talk about the magic kingdom that was Disneyland. Disneyland back then was the most magical, fantastical, mesmerizing place that you could imagine. You know, Disneyland. That theme park that charges everyone $100 for the day, still somehow can't afford to buy a pair of pants to put on Donald Duck. The land of fascination that's presented as make-believe in order to make us believe that the rest of Southern California is real. But really, Hollywood, Los Angeles, and so much that surrounds the Magic Kingdom Fairgrounds is what are no really, they're really not really what's real anymore. Except for that traffic. Man, I don't miss that. And I wish the traffic ended when you got to Disneyland, but no, long lines. Yep, rude people. If you get rid of that, now that would have made it a Magic Kingdom. Okay, got that off my chest. You can't tell I'm one of the original LA escapees, can you? A fugitive from Fullerton. But when I was young, Disneyland was everything. And that first trip going to Disneyland, well, from the backseat of my folks' car on the way to Disneyland, well, I'd never been there before. So I didn't know what the drive there was supposed to look like, whether it was normal or not to have traffic jams, accidents, detours, rain, mom and dad bickering in stressed tones. If I was driving, had I been, 2 feet taller and like 10 years older, I'd have known so little about where I was headed. I could have stopped at some intersection and actually saw the sign that read, Disneyland, left. I'd have gotten so crapped out, I'd have just pulled a U-turn and cried the whole time driving home, because I'd actually thought that Disneyland up and left. Okay, that was a pretty Mickey Mouse comment, but honestly, I didn't know, because it was a route I'd never been shown. See, we never talked about what the ride to Destination Disneyland was going to be like, because all I wanted to talk about was the destination of Disneyland. Do they have this? What about these? Can I do this when I get there? Can I go on the Matterhorn? Can I have ice cream? Yeah, that was way back in the day when ice cream was always in a cone, and no one ever thought of being able to buy a Happy Meal at the happiest place on earth. Oh, but what about a mouse ears hat? Can I get one of those with my name embroidered on it, like a real Mouseketeer? Now see, that's what I remember that I was caring about. So that's what I talked about. So that's what I was prepared for. I don't remember ever asking what the drive to get there was going to be like. I didn't recognize a street sign, a landmark, not a restaurant, a bus stop, because all I knew was what I thought my destination, my Disneyland, was supposed to look like. And oh yeah, I felt excited and pretty certain I'd know what that looked like when I saw it, when I got there. But from a 5-year-old perspective in the backseat of the car, I just had to trust Mom and Dad that they knew the way, where to go, how to find it. Because I couldn't tell you if we were going the right way or wrong. Headed to Anaheim or Antarctica. If it was going to be another hour or if it was just around the corner. But I stayed focused on my Disneyland destination, my destined outcome. So it is also with a lot of our life. Day to day, cradle to grave, staying focused on getting to our destined outcome, our Disneyland. Whenever it's our first time on this route, the trip to get there is often not what we thought it should look like. But it's because we've never driven it before. We don't know if it's normal or not, if we're almost there or almost lost and a long ways off. And besides, we really just got to trust who's actually in the driver's seat. And that can be a scary adventure at times. It's actually been said that adventure without risk is just Disneyland. I'll say that again. That adventure without risk is just Disneyland. If my destination is all and only about safety in our travels to our targets, the kind of safety that keeps our imagination within the boundaries along the way, then the power behind what we're dreaming of and dreaming about is limited to crossing some finish line. After we've waited in long lines and traveled only the trip that stays neatly between the lines. When we think we know all that we need to know about what we're trying to experience, then we miss more than just the journey. And I know everyone says it's not the destination, it's the journey, it's getting there that matters. Well, that's freaking goofy. Bullcorn Pucky. I wouldn't even be on this particular damn journey if it weren't for the destination. I don't know about you, but those long lines to get on the Matterhorn, they twist back and snake around, and you can't tell how flippin' much longer there really is to your destination until you arrive. Yeah, right. It's kind of like the old Viagra in Disneyland joke. You got to wait an hour and then you only get a 2-minute ride. Well, that was a pretty Mickey Mouse commentary. And it's a pretty Mickey Mouse way to do life. See, the reason that I'm even on this journey, whether it be your business venture journey, or your marriage, dating, relationship journey, or some newly retirement adventure journey, or anything that you have this compelling vision for, and about, the reason you're on this trip to Bountiful is because of the Bountiful when you get there. And yeah, along our way, there will be pitfalls, potholes, traffic jams, detours, and possibly not even a single solitary landmark that we recognize anywhere in sight to comfort us that we're going the right way and that we're almost there. We may even come to the point where we see the sign that says Disneyland left. But don't get discouraged, don't cry, don't become disheartened, and don't turn back, because our happiest place on earth is still there. It's waiting for us to faithfully find it, whether we're familiar with Anaheim or we're coming all the way from Antarctica. Through every unknown adversity along our adventurous route, and there will be many adversities, through every unknown adversity, the one that we've never seen anything like it before type of trip, remember what Disney said. That the flower that blooms in adversity is the most beautiful. If you give up on your adventure, you will never, never land where your every fantasy, your yet to be known tomorrows, and most importantly, our dreams are destined for us to arrive at. And one last piece of advice. When you do arrive there, make a mental note which aisle you parked in. See where you're at. Because even though you were so sure you knew what your destination Disneyland would look like when you arrived, I'll bet you never knew how confused you can become when you don't take the time to remember the landmarks you need to return home. And now more words of wisdom to wow your socks off from the Live Life Lean Guide itself. Entry from page 228. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. J.P. Morgan. And the guide's point of view on this? I know a guy who always said, you'll never get out of your driveway if you wait for all the lights between here and there to turn to green from red. What do you think about this? Using the Live Life Lean guided system, what have you learned recently that's new? What have you earned that wasn't just handed to you? Where are you adding to the world? It's not just about you. Now, reflect on this, respect it, be grateful for it, and before you navigate somewhere next, please like, subscribe, and share to show you care. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying your copy of the Live Life Lean, LEAN guide, enjoying it almost as much as I did creating it. And if you don't have a copy yet, go on over to ampurage.com or Amazon and get started today experiencing the amazing power of knowing every day is literally yours to be grateful about, and you need never feel unfulfilled again. I'm Jim Hall, and until next time, good health, God bless, and now go get a little dirty learning something new, earning what's not given to you, adding to this crazy world that we share, and navigating your way to something new and next.